Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. This is about my experience with Mother Meera. Mother Meera is an Indian woman, a very wise one, married to a German, living in Germany, just 1 hour drive away from where I live in the middle of Germany. And she has a spiritual center there, giving Darshan in silence, with no words spoken. She's also traveling around the world, giving Darshan, and I think maybe even some talks. Rarely that she talks so much. And one of my Brazilian soul sisters once was here in Germany to visit me already years ago, and I wanted to provide her with, well, a good experience. So I asked her whether she would like to accompany me to the center of Mother Meera and experience her darshan, and she said, of course, yes, I'm curious, let's do it. And just some more explanations. The name Meera in Sanskrit means ocean or peace, and a darshan, as the Sanskrit word, means view or sight. So we drove there and had to line up with all the other visitors and her followers and group around her and wait in silence until she entered the room. And I stood in the front row, kind of like forming a corridor with others waiting for the darshan and lining up for it. And she passed through that corridor, and without even willingly or knowingly sensing into her or her energy as trained medium, I got a first impression. And that was, she was totally blank and empty in the best positive sense. There was no ego tangible for me to perceive. She was just an empty vessel ready to be filled with, let's say, divine light or source, all that is, especially in its divine feminine aspect, because she is in the body of a woman. And then one after the other was kind of lining up to walk towards her. She was sitting on a little bit higher place in the room on a chair. And when it was my turn, well, I went there and I knelt down because she is touching you and looking at you during giving the darshan. So when she's sitting, you have to kneel down. That was okay with me because I did not feel any ego ambitions with her. So she touched me with both hands on my head, and I can't even say that I felt anything, but kind of this wonderful, silent emptiness that suddenly streamed through my whole body. And I loved it to be empty, no thoughts, nothing of the normal day-to-day ego working in this vessel. And then she looked into my eyes, maybe for a minute or so, with no words, silently, no speaking. And oh my gosh, she has wonderful eyes, so deep that you really have the feeling you are sinking into an ocean of peace and love. Felt like motherly love. And I had the impression that she was looking to the bottom of my heart and my soul, and I felt totally recognized in everything. In my bad aspects that I still have, and I still have an ego, although I hope it's not a big fat one. I prefer to stay humble, to keep that away from me. That megalomaniac, egocentric attitude and all that it brings in. And it was just wonderful, as if I wasn't there any longer for just 1 minute. And I felt also, although be seen and recognized so deeply, totally accepted, something I had never felt before in my life. And then I walked silently back to my seat in the rows with all the other public, the people that were there. And then I got a vision, and I heard a voice saying something. And the vision that I got was me and my beloved deceased husband embracing each other. And it took me some years to understand that image, but now I do. That was the first impression of love that I had in my whole life with my second husband, who died very rapidly after we came together. We had 4 wonderful years full of everything one can only wish for, and then he very sudden and rapidly died of cancer. And I was allowed to accompany him, and this experience taught me a lot. So I can only recommend, don't flee from this, for the ego, maybe horrible seeming experience to see somebody you love die in front of you. When the soul leaves the body, there is only an empty shell, and if you see that empty shell, you understand that the soul is something bigger, so much more and greater than what you loved in the body, and you understand that what you loved is no longer in that body. The essence of what or who you loved is everywhere and not bound, confined or imprisoned in that body shell any longer. And of course, I would have wished to live longer with him, live our love, and if it would have turned out that way, and he would not have died, I would have done only exactly that. Being together, being happy, enjoying love and life and our companionship, and I would have never started my mediumship trainment that taught me even more. So, the greatest loss in my life turned out to be the greatest gift, because with his sacrifice to leave the earthly love we had together and excarnate, he enabled me to look further and seek further for answers, and by that find my very good and grounded mediumship teachers, where I learned so much, and I'm still grateful for all that I was taught by the experiences and by my teachers. So now I understand that this visual I got at Mother Meera's Darshan was showing me you experienced a glimpse of unconditional divine love here on earth with your partner. So that should be your compass through life that you still have to live. And I heard a sentence while seeing that picture or image in front of my inner eye. And the sentence was, "You don't have to come back." Not in the sense, "You don't have to come back here anymore. We don't want you," or something like that. It was more in the sense, you got everything you needed, so you don't have to come back. You're well equipped. Now go and be it. So that was my experience with Mother Meera, whom I highly respect and recognize as an ascended soul in my eyes. Of course, you can have your own opinion and whatever, and you will have, because we all still have egos and make up our own minds. But this is what I wanted to share as the essence of my experience with Mother Meera, the ocean of peace that gave me a view and sight. Thank you very much for listening. Blessings. Oh, I have to watch my words. Thank you, Spirit World. Blessings, liberation, and fortitude for you, beautiful souls on your soul path. Bye.